Converting forms of linear functions. So we now have three forms of linear functions. We have slope-intercept form, we have standard form, and point-slope form. But sometimes it's going to be kind of necessary to convert amongst those forms. So that's what we're going to do here. So up here is kind of the notes for each of the different forms: slope-intercept, standard, and point slope form. So here we go. Number one says convert the following equations written in standard form into slope-intercept form by isolating the y variable and then graph it. So we'll get a little more extra practice with the graphing as well. So we're going to convert this to slope-intercept form. So remember, slope-intercept form is in that form of y equals mx plus b. So basically, you're just isolating y. You're solving for y. So on A, if I'm solving for y, I would subtract 6x from both sides. So I'm going to have 3y, and then I'm going to have a negative 6x on this side after I subtract 6x, and then plus 12 there. Then divide by 3. I'm going to have y equals negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So there we go. There we go. It's converted into slope-intercept form. So it does say and graph it. So let's go ahead and graph that. Our y-intercept is that 4, right? So we're going to start up here at 4. And our slope is negative 2. So I'm going to go down 2 over 1. And it's graphed. All right, let me show you B. Same thing. We're going to convert it into slope-intercept form. So that basically requires us to isolate the y variable. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So I'm just going to have a negative 2y here. And I'm going to have a negative x and then a plus 6. Then divide by negative 2. So I'm going to have a y equals. Now remember, this is like a negative 1x, right? So negative 1 divided by negative 2, we could just write as positive 1/2. And then 6 divided by negative 2 is negative 3. Y-intercept is negative 3. Slope's 1/2. I know I'm going fast here, but we've done many of these. So slope's 1/2, so I'm going to go up 1 over 2. That's good enough. And there you have it. So that's converting standard form. That's how you convert standard form into slope-intercept form. I'll let you do this page, C, D, E, and F. Okay. It says you just converted standard form into slope-intercept form. Now let's convert point-slope form into slope-intercept form. So we're converting, the point-slope form into slope-intercept form. And then it wants us to graph as well. So remember, it's kind of the same idea. With slope-intercept form is just y equals mx plus b. So we're trying to get y by itself. So in this case, to do that, though, we got to do some kind of algebraic manipulation. So I'm going to distribute first because I have a 1/3 parentheses x plus 6. So I'm going to distribute this 1/3 in the parentheses. So 1/3 times x is just 1/3 x. 1/3 times 6 is 2. So I just distributed the 1/3 into the parentheses, multiplied the 1/3 into the parentheses. And I still have the y minus 3 over here. And then my last step, remember, I'm trying to get into y equals mx plus b. I'm trying to get the y variable isolated by itself. So all I have to do is add 3 to both sides because it says y minus 3. So I'm going to add 3 to isolate y. So add 3 to both sides. That would add to the 2, so it'd be 5. Okay, if you're not sure what I did there, let me just kind of show what I did. Plus 3. And it says to graph, so y-intercept is at 5. And then slope is positive 1/3, up 1 over 3. There we go. B, same concept. So I'm going to distribute first. So it'd be negative 2x, negative 4 times, sorry, negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. Trying to isolate y, get y alone. So I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides because it says y plus 2. So if I subtract 2 from its like term on the right, 8 minus 2 is 6. So my y-intercept is positive 6. And the slope is negative 2. So I'm going to go down 2 over 1. And maybe I don't show like my full work up here sometimes, but you know, we've done a lot of algebraic manipulation. So again, all I did this step was subtract 2. Okay. All right, I'll let you do C and D. Next conversion says, now let's try and convert slope-intercept form into standard form. So we're going from slope-intercept form, and now we're trying to get it into standard form. So we're just changing the form of it. So if you notice in standard form, it's got our x and our y's to the left of the equals. It's got those coefficients in front of it. So that's going to be the goal here. And a lot of times in standard form, you don't have fractional coefficients. So I'm going to get rid of these fractions as well. So that's what I'm going to do first on A, actually. You see that 2/3? So to get rid of that fraction, I'm going to multiply by the denominator. Okay, that's going to eliminate that division of 3 down there, that denominator of 3. So I'm going to multiply this entire thing by 3 because that's going to eliminate that 2/3 part. That 3 in the denominator is going to cancel. So 3 times y is 3y. 2/3 times 3 is just going to be 2x. 4 times 3 is 12. So all that did there was eliminate that division of 3 with that fraction. So that's why I multiplied by 3. And now I actually really only have one more step because I'm just trying to get in the ax plus by equals c. So all I need to do now is move that 2x over to the left by the y. So I just need to subtract 2x from both sides. And maybe I'll show it. Get that out of here. Subtract 2x. So now I have a negative 2x plus 3y equals 12. Okay. I'm going to show you a couple more. Now let me show you B because it's actually a lot easier. B is a lot easier because I don't need to do that multiplication first step. I don't have any fractions involved here. So I have y equals negative 4x plus 5. So again, to get it into standard form, I just need the x and the y on the left side. Just move it over. So since it says minus 4x, hold on a second. Never mind. I'm going to do plus 4x. Just get that over there. And so you have a 4x plus y equals 5. Very easy to get into standard form in that case when you don't have any fractions you got to deal with. But let me show you one more which involves the fraction. So that's letter C. So I have a 3/4. So it's that division, it's that denominator of 4 that's kind of an issue. So I'm going to multiply this whole thing by 4. That's going to clear that denominator. So I'm going to have 4y equals 3/4 times 4 would just be 3x. And then that's going to be a minus 8 there. And then just subtract the 3x over because we got to get the x's and y on the same side. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. So I'm going to have a negative 3. That's bad handwriting. Subtract 3x from both sides. I'm going to have a negative 3x plus 4y equals negative 8. So all I did was subtract 3x from both sides there. All right. That's converting slope-intercept form into standard form. I'll let you do the rest there. Okay, finally, let's convert point-slope form into standard form. Now, this might kind of require the most amount of work, honestly. So look at the forms, point slope into standard. And I'm just going to kind of erase actually this because the goal is to get to standard. So that's really what we need to focus on. We need to get it in this form here. So what I'm going to do first, kind of the method I'm going to do first, I'm going to distribute. So 2/3 x, 2/3 times 6 is 4. And then I'm going to, and there's kind of different ways you can approach this. I'm going to move the 1 over. I'm going to do +1 on both sides. So I add 1 on the left side. Now I have a 2/3 x plus 5 because I add 1 to the 4. And now we have it in slope-intercept form. And now I'm just going to do the exact same method we did above. Now I'm just going to convert it into standard form. So I'm going to clear that denominator. I'm going to go multiply this whole thing by 3. So it's going to be 3y. 2/3 times 3 is 2x. 5 times 3 is 15. And then I need to move that x over to the left side. I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides. So I have a negative 2x plus 3y equals 15. So a lot of algebraic manipulation there. So I guess kind of the method that I suggest when you're trying to convert it into standard form from point slope form is first take that point slope form, convert it into slope intercept form, and then you can shift it over to standard form. So here I'm going to distribute the negative 4. Y plus 2 equals negative 4x plus 12. Negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. So I'm going to have y equals negative 4x plus 10. 12 minus 2 is 10. And this one, I don't have to do that step in blue I did on letter A to deal with the fractions because there is no fractions here. So all I have to do is move that x over to the left. So it says a negative 4x. So in order to move it, I'm going to do positive 4x. I'm going to do plus 4x on both sides. So I'm going to have 4x plus y equals 10. So again, the method that I'm kind of using here is first convert it into slope-intercept form, and then you can convert it into standard from there. So that's kind of it. That's how you convert forms. So I'll let you do the rest of this page.